these things. You know, I have to take these glasses. Like a big bug. These lights messed up. I hate it. I hate the blue lights. I hate them. All right. I don't know how this is going to go. That's probably not. Oh, I look like a freaking fly. Hey, I should have brought a pair of sunglasses. These lights are messed up. I, um, I don't know what YouTube's at it again. Plus now, I'm at the library and they have this light on up here that I could unplug before. Now they have it all taped down so I can't unplug it. Why would they do that? Why would they care? They have this expensive friggin' pod, whatever it is, that somebody donated, but yet they get to control how it is inside here. So I don't know how long I'm going to be able to stand it because I don't want to keep. I have to wear the glasses because the weapons all around us to kill us. Not too many people are catching on to this. I know there's a few people that are aware of it, but I am actively doing things to try to get out of this messed up, whatever you want to call it, realm, world, planet. Probably none of the above. Who knows what it is? But well, everybody seems to want to be entertained rather than educated, so that's leaving me out. I'm giving free information to people that they can't pick up themselves because they don't have the discernment. They're not detoxing. Their body's so impure and polluted from all the garbage they're putting in it. They have no idea. I mean, just people have no idea how bad they are, how bad off they are by what they're ingesting, because you are what you eat. If you're going to put, garbage in, garbage out, and if you're not detoxing constantly to undo what you just did, like I have to do it every single day, because no matter what I eat, it's like I'm cheating. And most people couldn't eat the way I eat. So, I mean, I don't even really expect them to. But the thing I wanted to talk today about was not so much the food situation, which always seems to come up because it's just everywhere around us, and people don't realize how addicted they are to the system, to the food and the system. The food the system provides is not healthy, and people say, oh, just eat healthy and exercise. They don't even know what good food is. They don't know what good exercise is. They think going to the gym and pumping and working out on these machines is good exercise. It's not. You're deluded into thinking that. Why do people, they go and they take their car to the gym drive around or try to get the closest parking spot so they don't have to walk too far just to be able to get into the place and then get on a treadmill and then run or do some other kind of, it's just insanity, and it's getting harder and harder for me to be around people. And I have almost all but given up on people because my whole goal was to help mankind. And I'm not calling it humanity. I'm not saying I'm a human being. I don't know what the hell that means, but I'm not identifying that. I am a woman of the man race, of men, of man, mankind. I don't know what this human thing is, but it ain't me. Um, but people say, "Oh, I'm only human." Are you? You're only human. What a way to be. Glad I'm not only human. I'm above that. And I want other people to be bragging about themselves and talking about how powerful you are, how important, how you can do so many things, but they have us all dumbed down to think that we're not capable. And people think, oh, we're so progressive because we've evolved from the caveman. There ain't no such thing as caveman. The people that came before us, every single generation before the last one, before that, are getting more and more intelligent. It ain't the other way around. It's getting, you're devolving, getting less and less and less intelligent. Along, with each and every generation, it's more and more dumbed downness and stupidity and people just have no idea what it is to know anything. They just because they know what time it is. There's another thing. I mean, there's just everything around us is a construct. And now they're messing, they've been messing with the weather and everything else. And look at what people are going through. This heat is unbelievable. And it's not just the hotness of the heat, it's the intensity of the radiation that we're feeling. Look, nobody's even here listening to me. They would rather go listen to about people getting beat up and killed or violence and this, that, and the other thing rather than find out what can be done. Like most so-called truthers, and I will not call myself that, all these so-called truthers think they know everybody, like Matt, and thinking that he's like, oh, the first graders. What is he, second grader? To me, he's like way down there, like I'm beyond college when it comes to that shit. And he's talking about other people. I don't know who's here, but I have to wear these weird these blue blockers or whatever because this light is so intense above my head. And they won't let me unplug it, the creep. So I don't even know that I'm going to stay here at all because it took me, like a half an hour just to deal with. Like I thought I could come in because I was here at like 3:45, and I figured I could have my fort set up for 4:20. Then I had to leave and come back, and then all these problems. And I find out this light. I can't unplug the light because they have it all taped down. So I don't think I'm going to be using this pod, this expensive, what is it, $12,000 piece of glass and with a door on it, like a little vestibule. I don't know. I can't really turn my laptop because it's such a big, funky thing to show you what it's like in here. This is as wide as it is. Here's one. And my arm is stretched out to the other side. So, like, in the middle, I'd be like this. So that's how wide it is. Maybe 3 feet by 4.5, maybe 5 feet at the most. And it's about, I guess it's maybe 6 foot tall. But anyway, okay, so I guess nobody wants to come brag because they're too programmed to not talk highly of themselves because that would be you being, who do you think you are? Well, I think real highly of myself. And just because I live in my car doesn't make me any less than anybody else. So I don't think people really do want to even talk about themselves because then they would get judged by other people because they're talking. So who do you think you are? Well, I think I am very high on the ladder of whatever. And I'm on the way out of here and I'm doing all that I can to disconnect from this so-called matrix, whatever you want to call it, this hell realm, because this is not really where I want to be. I don't want to be part of this disgusting place. I mean, I try to find what beauty I can in nature and communicate with the animals and the insects and whatever I can. But, I mean, I don't even know what to make of that. But for now, that's all that I have. That's all that I can communicate with is, you know, being more of a natural world than being, with the NPCs and they're turning into zombies right in front of my eyes. I don't know what to do about it. Oh my God, here comes another friggin' thing. All right. Okay, if it's not YouTube, it's all these ads coming up at me and everything. So, okay, so, is my sound okay? I don't know how I'm doing here because I haven't been, okay, it's up all the way, but I don't know if it's working right because I can't use the plug. I can't shut off the light. That's why I have the glasses on because the light is hurting my eyes. So it took me a little longer to get set up than I normally would do. So, and I'm not in the greatest of moods. You can hear my throat is really, and I haven't even been talking or anything, but my throat is really hoarse and I left my water out in the car. But I've already drank 3 liters of sea salted water already today. So, I mean, I try to do 4, but it's hard enough to get 3 in. I don't know if anybody's doing the plasma, the SHP, the self healers protocol, which is just basically putting sea salt, and I use the Celtic sea salt because I don't trust the Himalayan sea salt. It should be real sea salt, not mined sea salt, but from the sea and dried. And that will help dehydrate you at the cellular level. And so I am actually puffing up so much, I think, from the hydration, from the water hydrating me, that my clothes are starting to not fit me. So it is probably some water weight, and I'm not fat by any means, but my clothes, I'm normally like a 6, size 6, and now 8s are almost are tight on me now, a size 8, and that's not a big size. Do you realize the number? Okay, we were talking about all the X's, what the X's all mean. So if anybody has any feedback about the X's because of the whole X thing being Twitter changed to X, we were thinking about where all the X's are, like X Files and X this, that, and the other thing, wherever X shows up. And shoot, what was I leading up to? Oh, so I realized that I saw in the stores now, that it used to be like girl sizes used to go like, small, medium, large. Then there was extra large, and then started the X's, extra large, 1X, size 1X, and it went to 2X, which means extra, extra large. Now it's up to 6X. That's how fat people are. So if you don't want to hear me talking about how obese the people are, if you're fat, either you're going to come here to help change that, or you don't want to hear me talk about it because it's disgusting, like making fat okay, glorifying all these people that are overweight and so unhealthy. The most unhealthiest people are those people and the vegans, even the vegetarians. Probably the vegetarians, or might even be worse than the vegans, however you want to say it. I say vegans, you say vegans. So man, it is so friggin' blue in here. It's unreal. I don't know if it shows up on the screen. Can anyone see the color of the atmosphere in here? Doesn't it look blue? I mean, this is a gray background, but this light is so intensely blue that it's hurting my eyes, and I won't be able to use this anymore. I'm just going to do it because I was already here today at 4, and by the time I would have drove somewhere else to try to find a place where I could get Wi-Fi and set it up, because I also need electricity to keep it plugged in. Otherwise, it dies fairly fast. I don't know. I'll have to try it. Maybe the next time I will, wherever I'm at, I'll try doing it without. If I can't find a plug-in to plug it in, I will just do it without the plug-in and see how long my battery will hold it. Because this is I have an old laptop that is, I forget how long I've had this, at least 10 years anyway. And it's a Toshiba Cosmio, and it's really super heavy. But it was state of the art back then. It was up to like $3,000 for this laptop. It's all backlit. It's black with red trim. It's really gorgeous, but it's so heavy, and I have to carry around the big old block to keep it charged when I'm using it. Because if I wear it down while I'm doing a live stream and it goes dead, then I have to find a place just to plug it in and charge it, and then sit there and wait. And I don't even know where I would do that at yet. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. So so whoever's here, whoever's doing the thumbs up, thank you very much. Does anyone want to talk about whatever? I mean, you don't have to talk about what I put up as a title, but I just thought that was a starting place, because I'm trying to get. Hi, El Sharpo, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? Oh, shoot. I've not been really feeling all that well, so, but I'm doing a lot of detoxing, and and detoxing doesn't make you feel very good. I'll tell you. People stop doing that and doing these things like the water thing, the plasma, because it makes them feel bad. They want to quit because they can't feel bad. Well, that's what you do when you detox. You feel bad because you're getting rid of all the toxins that are in you. And people just think they're doing so well. You get so acclimated to things and you keep doing them. But if you stop doing them for a while, whatever, and then you start again, you start back after months and months of like not eating whatever, some crap food or McDonald's or wherever, and then you go back and then try to eat what you used to be able to tolerate, and then you can't anymore. Today's 8/4. Yeah. Yeah, I was just I quit listening to Garrow months ago, a long time ago, and so I was wondering. I listened to him last night, just to see what he was going to say about today, because wasn't Trump supposed to get his head wound, right? So what happened? I don't know, but he's always saying, "Oh, God gave me the date." Well, if God gave you the date, why didn't He give you the year too? He's just saying, "I don't know what year," and that's his out for it all the time. But I mean, how many years has it been since he started that prediction? Do you know, El Sharpo? Because today is also my stepfather's birthday, but I don't give a shit about him. I mean, he's been long dead. He's an alcoholic that molested me when I was a little kid. Um, so I even changed my name, because I was given his name like as if he was my real father, and he was nothing but a fucking pedo. Yeah, so it's been like what, 4 or 5 years or something since he's been saying that. At least 4, I think. And so he had to like eat humble pie, I guess, this time around back in June, when he said that what was supposed to happen in June. Oh, the whole Seattle thing, which I have a feeling that may still come to pass. Something may happen in Seattle, but I don't know when. But I get the feeling something will happen, and I don't know if it involves Trump, but I do think it might involve the image of Elvis somehow. Like they're gonna shoot him out the space needle, and I don't know, but that didn't happen, and now this didn't happen again for how many years it's been since it's not happening. So And isn't it Obama's birthday, I think? Today is Obama's birthday, which he's another creep. They're all none of these presidents are anything to be idolized or worshipped or anything. It's such a joke. It's just hard to watch people falling for this stuff and believing in it, thinking that these people are real, like they care about you. I can't even believe that they're going to make a big to do out of this. I'm sure Trump will get in again, but how the hell? I mean, just the fact that Biden beat him out. Sure he did. Sure he did. With all the people that love Trump and how many people love Biden, really love this guy, this fallen down, just he looks like he's some kind of goofy Charlie Chaplin, Three Stooges. There's like at least Three Stooges playing him, I think. Oh yeah, I'm telling you, I'm seeing people literally turning into zombies in front of me. Because like where I'm at here in Blaine, which is right, like you can see the Canadian border line up, all the lights there and everything where you pass the border line. So right at Canada, where that smacks up Washington to BC. My daughter's in Vancouver on the other side of the imaginary line I'm not allowed to pass. I'm Canada. So I'm not allowed into Canada. My daughter has dual citizenship, so she comes down here and brings her baby down. She just had a baby in February, so I get to see Levi like once a month. She brings him down. So it's still like 45 minutes, almost an hour away for her to come because she's got to sit in line at the border crossing to get in. So so I can't even see my own grandson because of their laws. There's no such thing as laws. This is all bullshit. All this legalese and everything they got going on, trying to convince, bamboozle us and make us believe in all this stuff. Especially when they say mandate. Mandate's not a law. All these so-called laws are not even laws. You go to a court of law, the judges are not who you think they are. I mean, they're not. Nobody's on our side. I mean, they're all part of this whole big charade that they're playing, and getting away with it. And now I haven't even been following the whole Trump thing, but I just saw somebody reporting on it in the thing saying that he didn't. Of course, he's not guilty. Like as if he's going to be. They're going to declare him guilty and put him in jail. Sure, they will. They didn't do it to Hillary. And Trump didn't do all the things he said he was going to do. He was going to lock her up, and he was going to build the wall, and and that wall, as far as I'm concerned, is to keep us in, not to keep other people out, because they're letting everybody in, and they're paying these third world country people to come in and giving them places to live and feeding them. Meanwhile, I'm living in my car. They cut back my food stamps down to $68 a month. That's $2.25 a day that I get for food. That's it. So, and that doesn't even pay for my water, my ice. It's just right there. It's all used up for ice because I have to get ice every day. Lately I've been putting empty bottles, like my raw milk bottles. I have to pay cash for all my food, but everybody else gets it for free, and they get housing, and I don't. The housing I had Section 8 housing that I lost, and it's over 5 years on the waiting list. I don't even think I'll be here in 5 years. At least I don't want to be here in 5 years. I'm not suicidal. I'm not going to off myself or do anything like that. But I am actively trying to get out of this so-called hell realm, whatever it is. I'm out of here. I'm cutting loose of all my habits, addictions. I mean, I don't have any like drug addictions. I'm not talking about that. I'm just mainly like food, like, cutting off coffee, Like I've been doing decaf, trying to at least cut out the caffeine, and then it's actually the ritual of coffee that I like and the taste of it more than the caffeine. I don't need the speed up buzz. I already got that going on from what the hell they're doing to me with all the actually, you know, affecting my nervous system, because I know this is not of me, because I have lived really healthy almost all my life, at least the last 30 plus years since I got pregnant with my daughter. And then I really got cracked down and ate really well, which I already did to begin with. But then I had to get even more, strict with my diet because I had a baby in me and I needed to be able to support that baby and then ultimately nurse the baby. So now my daughter's going through this, but she's not doing the same thing I did. And well, in some ways she is. She's a pretty good mother, except for the fact that she is getting her baby stabbed. She did it to herself and now she's doing it to the baby, which breaks my heart. And there's nothing I did not give her one vaccination her whole life for 30 years. And she's 32 now, and she just turned 32 in June, and she just had this baby in February, and she got stabbed twice, and then she started stabbing the baby with it, letting the baby be inoculated. And there's nothing I can do about it. I just have to get to watch what she's doing, and she don't want to hear about it, and she thinks everything's kosher and cool, and oh, it's going to help the baby. I can't, she's under a spell like everyone else, and it's crazy how how this has taken over people's mind. It's like a mind virus. I mean, there's no such thing as a virus that you can catch. You can't catch it. It's a resonance, if anything, like where people will sync up to each other when they're around someone that has a cold and then you get a cold. It's a detox system. It's a resonance, just like women that hang out together get their periods synced up. I don't mean they caught a period. That would be the same thing. You don't catch something like that. Okay, now it looks like YouTube's messing with me again because the screen is flashing. Is it happening on the other side? Because it did this the last two live streams I had, where it just started doing that. And the first time I didn't realize I was still talking. And then when I shut down the video, I had been on for like an hour or something, around an hour. But then there was only 25 minutes that actually, and it stopped. And I didn't realize it had stopped. So, anyway, I don't know if it's going to do that again or not. And I only have till they close earlier on Friday. So, but I doubt I'm going to come back into this booth again. Now they have it all taped down where I can't unplug the thing to take this friggin' light off overhead of me, this weapon, this LED, which they are weapons. So, and I'm really sensitive to the light. I'm sensitive to the radiation. I'm sensitive to the frequencies. I'm sensitive to all of it. I'm sensitive to the food. I don't even. Hi, Melly. Don't give me shit today. I'm not in any mood for it. Please don't. Welcome to anyone. So I don't know. It's like 5 o'clock here, so I don't know how much longer I'll go. I don't know. Was it buffering at all, or did it start to freeze? Because I noticed somebody else that I've been following. It's been happening to them. And see, it's like doing that. Melly, is it flashing on your end? Is it freezing or buffering or something? I started to see what you wrote there, El Sharpo, but I don't know what you were going to say. It was something about, but see, that's why I got shut down and got my last strike was because talking about that. So I can't really even talk about that. I mean, people are putting up whole videos just talking about that the whole time for like a half an hour. And I talk about it for 5 minutes and I get a friggin' strike. So, and now, I got 2 strikes and I think I don't know, I have till August something to not get another strike or my channel goes down. My daughter did do it. I didn't do it to her. I never gave her one in the years that she was under my, for 20 some years. Like till she was an adult. As a child, I never gave her one. But then now, I don't know when she started. It was probably like 2 years ago or something like that. She did it to herself. She got it twice. I don't know if she said she wasn't going to get any more, but then I asked her if she's doing it to the baby and she said yes. So there's nothing I can do or say because she doesn't believe me. Of course she thinks I am crazy because, like, what do I know? And I know more than most people know. I know a lot of shit about a lot of shit. I've been watching the things that are happening and aware of them for 7 decades, and maybe not that whole time, but there were other things I was aware of as a young child, like child abuse and stuff like that. And I knew about fluoride over almost 40 years ago. Way before my daughter was born, I knew about that. And I actually grew up in the town of Newburgh where they had the Newburgh-Kingston's trials that started back in 1948. They started putting the fluoride in the water. It's flashing again. Is it showing on your side, anybody? So I don't know, because that's what it started doing, and then I realized I didn't know if it mattered, but it turned out that they cut me off after that. So I don't know if it's going to happen again or not. So so anyway, she doesn't want to hear about any of that stuff, and like anything that I say that is supposed, is helpful, is good, like, or anything, she just shuts down and she doesn't want to talk to me. And like, or she'll say, okay, mom, let's just not go there. So then we just drop it so we don't fight. I'd rather, I don't want to fight with her and just to be right or anything like that. But I could see that she's falling into some of these clown patterns or whatever you want to call it. Now she's dyeing her hair orange, where she was just doing little streaks of it, which was okay and nice, but I was afraid that she was going to go all out and ruin her beautiful hair. She has hair that's so long, it's like down to her waist, and now she's got it dyed ridiculous orange. It's not even orange is her favorite color, so I could see why she would want to do that, but it's not even truly orange, and it's not that bad of a color, and it's not that bad look. It's just that she's damaging her hair every single time she does it, and her hair is really long, and I'm a hairstylist. This is my life. I have a teacher's degree in cosmetology, but she don't want to hear me. She would rather listen to the system, the machine tell her what to do, not somebody like me who's been in this field for over 50 years. I'm experienced as a hairdresser, a massage therapist. I never did nails, and I did some skin and makeup and stuff, but I don't do that anymore. I don't even really do hair anymore. Occasionally I'll give somebody a haircut, like if they do me a favor or something like that, or I'll use it as a like bartering. So, but I prefer to stay with doing what I do best, is massage. I do aromatherapy massage. Nothing. Once her, oh, hi there. I didn't even see you were here, mister. Um, she can't, once your hair is damaged like that, you can't bring it back. You have to let it grow out. If you're going to keep abusing it and keep putting color on it and stuff, it's just going to dry it and make it frizzy and just strip it of the oils and the natural, and it lifts the cuticle layer. Most people have 3 layers of hair each. Say like each strand of hair, there's a center one, like a medulla, a cortex in the middle, a medulla, and the cuticle layer on the outside. Except for blondes, blondes only have 2 layers, so their hair is more fragile. So if they start putting a lot of chemicals on their hair breaks down really fast. But if you have some dark hair and then you put bleach on it, so that's one process, and then you put a toner or another color on top of it, that's another abuse on top of another one. So um, I don't know. I was a good hair colorist, actually, an excellent one, and I learned some good techniques from, as far as hair coloring, from the very first boss that I had back in 1969 is when I got my first job as a hairdresser. So yeah, you have to keep cutting it off, cutting the dead ends off, because they will not revive once they're stripped out. Like if you stop doing it, maybe do some oil treatments or something like that, it might give it a like appearance of some life back because it's putting oil or whatever it is into the hair and making it reflect the light better or something like that. But then it gets to a point, if you keep doing it, you can't do that anymore. Yeah, I don't know. If you'd rather have healthy hair, then you shouldn't be bleaching it, because bleaching it strips it out. This is basically my natural color now. I used to be kind of more like auburn, like a brownish auburn color, um, which I liked. And then I just let it grow out, and I quit. I wasn't coloring it or doing anything anymore. You think? My hair, you know what's happening to my hair? Like from all the detoxing I'm doing, and the self, the detoxing process started causing my hair to fall out. And then, which it started to grow back in, but now it's coming in curly. Look how curly it is. I never had curly hair. So I have to figure out a new way to cut my hair, because I can't get it to lay the way it was laying before, the way I liked it. So now I got to figure some other style out. So thanks for the compliment. Uh, yeah, that Hertz reaction is what stops people from moving forward in the detox process, because if you're kicking out toxins and stuff like that, you're going to feel like shit, because they don't feel good, because it's not good, and we all have toxins in us. Yeah, I mean, I like wavy curly hair. I'm not saying I don't like it. It's just that the style I was wearing, I'm not going to be able to do that anymore, because I've been cutting it, and then I keep cutting it, trying to get it to lay, and it won't lay right. And I also have some of these the Morgellons cuts on my scalp, which creates like a, because this biofilm comes out like mad, and it's like having glue on my head. And sometimes it's like super glue. It's so hard, and I can't get it off my scalp, because, and then it's just ridiculous. So it's the biofilm that builds up these. They're not true scabs like other, like cuts, normal like sores. They're not sores like that. But the biofilm builds up, and then it makes my hair separate like a cowlick. It's not a natural cowlick. Yeah, it feels like the flu. That's actually what the flu is detox symptoms. That's exactly what the flu is. And most people get it 2 times a year, like in the spring and in the fall, when the weather's changing and it triggers it. And then a lot of people get it at the same time, and they're using this to push the VID to make people believe that they're being attacked by something. So it's just detox symptoms, and it's actually a resonance that people pick up when other people do it too. Just like when your period syncs up. You don't catch a period. You sync up with other people. And just, like that's why people, mostly in other countries, they probably do that in Germany, right, Millie? Where when the kids, not so much in this country, I mean, there are some people that are onto this and think of it, that when kids get measles or whatever, they get them all together and have a big party so they all get them and get it over with. So they're all on the same resonance and frequency, because why do some people get sick and not everybody gets sick at the same time? Yeah, I could look at it that way, as a cold, the body crying. Are people aware that plants, vegetables and plants are sentient and have feelings? And when you cut them or burn a plant or something like that, they cry. Like you pour head of cabbage into boiling water, it's in there screaming, but we can't hear because we're not on the same frequency. Okay, it's starting to flash again. Is it stopping, or is it? It just does this every so often, but it did this the last couple times too, and my videos were cut short, and I didn't even know they had stopped recording. Okay, so I guess it's just on my end, but it was the same thing, so I don't know at what point that it will shut me off. Okay. So I have to figure out another place to go besides here at the library because of this light situation. That's why I have these bug glasses on, because of the blue light coming down at me, and I am so sensitive to it. Well, I would say, well, the first thing that came into my mind would be fat, like animal products fat, not seed oils or anything like that, but like butter, lard, tallow, all those type of things. Like I like duck fat if you can find it. I mean, last time I got it, it was like $12 for this little container of it. Now, I do not push any supplements. If you're eating the right foods, you should not need supplements. So that shows a lot about the vegan diet or where they have to supplement all these extra, the B12 and this and that and the other thing, because they're not getting it. They're not getting fat. They're getting the seed oils, which is not healthy. If anybody wants to learn more about this, you should listen to Darko Velsic. Let me see if I can write his name out here. And he used to be on YouTube, and then they banned him, but he recently just started coming back on in the last week or something. He came on a couple times, so he's really shut down, and he's really they're really on him about the stuff he talks about. But he's a veterinarian that tore up all his degrees and stuff like that. He says they are licenses to kill. He says all that they want us to do in the profession, which is the same as a doctor with people, but they just, for animals, it was all about just constantly and euthanizing. So what is, he just said their licenses to kill, and the same goes for the doctors. And I'm not a doctor, but I do have my teacher's degree in cosmetology. YouTube that covers a lot of the things that I do talk about. So there's no reason that they should be shutting me off and saying it's medical misinformation when this is the stuff that I've been taught through the system, but not through the regular indoctrination system, because I went to a trade school. I went to high school and I went to a trade school at the same time. So I went through 11th and 12th grade getting um, my cosmetologist license just to be an operator. But then I went on after I graduated high school and had all my hours in cosmetology and was already certified as an operator, which I learned all that other stuff. But then to teach it, you have to learn even more to be able to teach it. So I got the degree to teach, but I didn't want it so much to teach back then as I wanted it to be able to manage different salons. So I managed salons. I worked in Pittsburgh, Phoenix. Then I was in Southern California, and then I was even in Canada, but I wasn't licensed in Canada. But I did do. I had a bed and breakfast where I did my aromatherapy massage as part of as a treatment during their stay there. So that was the best time of my life as far as being happy and doing what I wanted to do, was when I lived on Salt Springs Island in British Columbia. Um, and actually, those islands are pretty much right across from Washington State. They're not way up north like with the rest of Canada. They dip way down the San Juan Islands, and there's the American Gulf Island. They're the Gulf Islands, the Canadian Gulf Islands, and the American. There's like two sets of 5 islands each. So, and I lived on Salt Spring Island, so it was really cool there. It was like back in the day. It was like more like hippies and stuff there, and everybody lived free, and they, was music all the time and dancing in the streets, and just it was how life should be. So I got a taste of that. And then I had to come back to the United States because I left in 95. I left California. I lived in Orange County. I lived in Newport and Laguna Beach and Costa Mesa in that area. And then I left there and took my daughter and went to Canada. And I left my ex because he was doing drugs. But then he came to Canada, and then we got married up there. But then he started cheating and stuff like that. So it was just ridiculous. So now I'm not allowed back into Canada for a couple different reasons, partly because of that. So, uh, so, so I do not promote fruits and vegetables. Um, Avocados are probably okay, um, because they are fatty, and it's the fat that carries out the toxins. The fat encapsulates the toxin and carries it out. So we need the fat. So the whole thing that they're pushing is no fat, low fat, and fake fat or some other kind of fat, oils and seeds and stuff like that is not where it's at. So, and then the salt, how everything, not everything, but a lot of things are, low sodium, no sodium. The very two things we need, they're like the whole pyramid is upside down. Fats are at the top, like use them very sparingly when they should be like this, and you should be eating like wheat and sugar and crap like that sparingly. But they're telling you need like 8 to 12 servings a day of grains and all this kind of nonsense. And that's like, all the grains are GMO. There's nothing good in them. Uh-oh, what's happening now? I keep getting these pop-up things for whatever. So, anywho, it's the experts are not experts. You mean they're because I'm saying against the narrative, the bullshit. They don't want me talking about it. That's what it is. So if you believe in what the experts say, go listen to the expert. I don't even know why you're here because you don't want to listen to what I say. So there's no safe medical practices at all. There is not. It's all leading up to the same thing. They are. I don't think the doctors know how indoctrinated they are. There's a doc right in there. Their indoctrination runs so deep. Do you know how much they actually learn about nutrition? They do not look for the cause. The first thing they look for immediately is what drug to give you. Every single drug has side effects and something you don't want in you. It's all chemical, it's all crap. I understand YouTube's rules. I understand exactly what they're doing. I understand that. It's not, I'm not saying I'm not going along with them is the problem because they want me to say these things that I'm not going to say. So anybody that wants to believe in what you see why I only have 800 subs. Do you know how many times I've hit 800? It keeps going down and back up, down and back up, down and back up. It never is going to let me get. I should have had 1,000 a long time. It lasts like 2 years ago. I should have had 1,000. Why do you think I don't have any subs? I mean, not that I don't have any, but I don't have many. And all the people that are pushing the bullshit have thousands and millions and whatever they want. Whoever's pushing the agenda is going to get them. People that don't talk about what's going on, like what's really going on with the nano and all that stuff, like Matt and all these other people, they're entertainers. They're not there to educate you. They are there to keep you distracted from what's really going on. YouTube will not tell me or other people what we said. So they keep us teetering, wondering, well, was it this or that or the other thing? They won't tell you specifically what you said. Don't you have a channel that you know this? Oh, hi there, robot. I'm just going to call you robot. The glasses are because of this light. I don't know if you can see how blue this light is here overhead me. I've been able to, whenever I came before, I was unplugging the plug so I could sit in here with no light and just the light from my screen. But now, today, when I want to use it, they have it all taped up so I can't unplug it. So I'm forced to be in this light. When this thing was donated to them, but they get to control how it gets used. So I won't be coming back here again and having to wear these. I mean, I should be wearing them all the time when I'm looking at the screen. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass because it was perfect in here. I mean, there was enough light from outside. You don't need this overhead light. I guess maybe for people who are like they use it like for study groups or something where if you're writing or reading like small print or something maybe like that. But and there's this friggin' thing here, another light that you could put on over top to give you the light you would need. But no, they're forcing this on me if I want to be in here. So I was ready to leave. I got all my stuff out and then realized I couldn't. I'd have to be under this light. So then I started putting all my stuff back and I go, well, if I go somewhere else, it was already I usually do my thing at 4:20, so I start like I come in at 4 and start setting up and doing whatever. And so then I decided, well, maybe I'll get my glasses and see if they help. Well, they help some, but then I can't read with them. Like I have to put two pair of glasses on. How's that look? Do I look really steampunk or something now? So I can't, like, it's kind of hard to read. So it's like one thing or the other. How about if I do it this way? So I still look like a bug-eyed alien or something. Woo. So, but I'd rather have these on than my glasses because this light hurts my eyes so bad. Okay, wait. I know, but I say a lot of things that could be used against me. And they don't tell me which specifically it is. So how do I know? So they told me I had because I already had 2 strikes, and then it was supposed to clear up in August, but I don't know if it's a certain day in August or when. So I haven't been doing as many live streams, if anyone noticed. But anyhow, um, so I'll have to find another place to do it. I don't know where I'm going to go, but it has to have Wi-Fi and an outlet, electrical outlet. So that narrows down my choices of places to go. Like I can find places where there's Wi-Fi, but this my this laptop is like 15 inches wide by about 12. Pretty big, and it is so heavy. Plus, I have the weight of the charger thing, which is really heavy. So it's like really heavy for me, and I'm really weak right now because of what I'm going through. I don't know if anybody here else is being. Um, I don't like to use the word because that's a word that they put out there. These targeted individuals, but I can feel some of the attacks that I get. And I don't know if anybody else can relate to that. I was thinking that I might start talking more about this in order to have a place where people can come and talk about it because most people don't have a place to talk about it or they're afraid to because they're going to get shunned or called nuts or crazy, whatever. But if those kind of people are going to be here, I will just ban them. I've only banned one person, and two people have gotten close to being banned, but I haven't done it yet. And one of them's here right now, right? Oh, I've been flagged for a long time. I know that. I'm on some, I don't know how many lists I'm on, but I've noticed since a couple years ago, anyway, where I wasn't showing up at all. It's probably been 3 years on Michelle's channel, who is also a Morgellons, I don't want to say sufferer, but she's has the Morgellons. Oh God, another friggin' thing. Okay, so I don't show up in her live chat or in the comments at all because you know, FaceTime, Messenger her all the time and we talk on Messenger. And I tell her, am I showing? And she's never seen me there one. And I'm always in her chat, always trying to support her. And she doesn't even know I'm there. I can see that she's only got a couple people in her chat. It's usually pretty low. I don't know. She might be starting to pick up more, um, but I can't there. So then there's her. Then there's the other Michelle that's in Australia. That's also in the Morgellons community. And I don't show up anywhere on their channel, in the chat, in the comments, or anything. Trying to see, am I doing this? No, it's flashing again, the screen. I don't want to preach at the choir, but there's people out there that don't know about this. There's people out there that aren't in the choir yet. They have no idea what's happening to them. They think it's just them. Okay, what's your different opinion? You're still here. Just the fact that you're still here says something about me, because I was ready to ban you long ago, and you know that, even before you started changing all your names. And I always know it's you. I can tell it's you. I get the vibe. I know right away. I'm clairsentient. I feel that. But you're one of those contrarians that is always going to come up against me. Always. You've been doing it ever since you started following me. So I'm not, there are people out there that are suffering. You know this, right? Or do you not know that there's people out there suffering that have no idea why they're suffering? So it is flashing on your end. Okay, because it's been doing this throughout the thing. And it did that last time, and I just kind of tried to ignore it. And then it turned out when the video went up, I tried to even stop the video, but I couldn't find a way to delete it before it went up. And by that time, I may have already gotten a strike if they decide to give me a strike. So I can't even stop it. If I say something and it's like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that, I can't take it out. I can't delete it or anything. So then I take the chance that they're going to give me another strike, and then my channel's down. And I don't have any backup channels at this point. So. Well, it could be, but why did it shut down after, like, I did like an hour and something, and then only 25 minutes of it went up? Why was that? Do you know? Melly, I don't care about you correcting me. That's okay. You know, you can disagree with me, but there are people out there really that have no idea what's going on, and they think they're all alone, and they think they're going crazy because they're gaslighting us like mad. Maybe you're not getting it, but other people, this is happening to people. So I want to be there to help the people that want to be helped. So if I get people that are always coming up against me, like as trolls or whatever they're doing, I'm not saying that you're a troll. I'm just saying there are trolls that do come around and want to start trouble or distract from um, whatever it is I'm saying, or want to get through to people. Like it, like I put up the title for this video, and it fully what? For fully. No, it didn't lose. It never lost power. That's why I keep it plugged in all the time. I have it on the charger, keeping it constantly going. Now I could understand that if I didn't, and that would be the problem if I find a place that has Wi-Fi, but I don't have a place to hook into the electricity. I thought I would just take my chances and see, how far I can get before it does die down. But that's not the case right now, because I am specifically, that's why I stayed here, was just to have this plugged in, because if I went somewhere else, I could probably find the Wi-Fi at like Starbucks or somewhere like that. But I don't always have a place to plug it in, and it would, go down. And also I can't take it into like a Starbucks, and I don't have the room in my car for this big dinosaur of a laptop to set it's so cramped in my car. I mean, I guess I could figure out some way, but it would be pretty cramped. But I don't have the electricity to plug it in my car. So, I mean, I could find a place where I could probably pick up the Wi-Fi, but it's like I can't have both. So this was a perfect solution until they taped down the plug so I could not unplug this light. And I'm not going to keep subjecting myself to this concentration of light, even though my eyes are protected, my body's still getting it. If you knew how bad my body feels right now, I'd start crying. It hurts so bad because it's my nervous system is at effect. I'm being hit with the frequencies. And there's other people this is happening to, and they're the people I would like to be here to help support me as I try to support them. Some people don't know about this, and they don't know why they feel so bad. Yeah, maybe I could do that. An umbrella might work, but something's got it. I can't do it here, so maybe I'll try that. I haven't been talking about what I've been going through because I don't want to burden people with my problems and stuff, but I know there's other people that are hurting like this and they need the help too. So I want to try to help those people. This isn't a joke. And it's even hard. Even my daughter she doesn't understand it. So it's hard for her to support it. She sees it all the time. She even bought me the microscope that we put the stuff that came out of my body under the microscope, and she saw it with her own eyes. And she still doesn't get it because she's under the mind control. And I said, what word do I use? She's the one that said mind control. So she knows about it, she sees it, but she can't assimilate it. Because I think part of it is because if she acknowledges it, just her natural beingness would make her want to do something about it. And she doesn't know what to do about it. So she'd rather just ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist, which a lot of the NPCs are doing. It's so friggin' bright in here. There's probably, I don't know what the percentage is of us who are going through this, but it's pretty damn low. It's probably like 1%, and I find myself in a lot of the 1% categories. Yeah, maybe. That would have to be a pretty wide sun hat, though. I do have an umbrella. I could try that and see if that works, because that might be a good idea. See how much light would actually pass through the umbrella. I mean, it's not a black one. It's like a leopard skin type thing. Because I used to have a lot of leopard things, because I'm a cat and I'm a cougar. So watch out, guys. Look at this. My eyes. So anyway, I also wanted to tell you guys, if you can find one, I guess maybe you can order them online. I've been looking in stores like Rite Aid and wherever, and I cannot find a little eye cup, a plastic eye cup or silicone or rubber, whatever they're made out of. That's, I know they have the glass ones. Well, they don't even have those ones, like the old-fashioned ones where you could just go like that with it, where you put some distilled water into the cup, the container, and then bathe your eye in it and like irrigate it and, open and close your eye. Like just wash your eyes out with distilled water to clean out all this shit, this nano crap that can't believe the nano stuff people are pushing like it's a good thing. And then you try to tell them about it. It's like, oh, well, it makes me feel so good. Well, fucking heroin made me feel good, so I should be still doing that, right? I mean, I quit that back in the 80s. But isn't that the same kind of logic? Oh, it makes me feel good, so it must be good, so I should do it, right? But I look like a fly in these glasses or something, some kind. You notice the insects too, how weird they're getting? Have you, like, all different kinds of new species are showing up or something? My 7 decades on this planet never saw all these different kind of bugs. Now, some of them I could see that are just because they're not like indigenous to the area that I'm in. Like when I was in Florida for the first time, actually it was in I saw it in Georgia and then I saw it again in Florida. These armadillos that are now in the news. Did you hear about the armadillos? Okay, so I don't know if they're weaponized or what's going on with those things, but they were weird. I was sleeping. I mean, I could have slept in the house at my Cuban guy friends down in Florida in Gainesville. I had a place I could stay in the house, but I chose to sleep outside in my tent. I mean, it was summertime, it was nice out. And then after sleeping there with no problems, and all of a sudden I start hearing these noises and feeling shit. Those goddamn armadillos were tunneling under my tent. I could feel them underneath the ground. They are creepy. The first time I ever saw one was hanging out of a dog's mouth. So they are weird. And then I saw Bono. Oh, I want to be associated with Bono. That's for sure. I won't wear them now. No, I don't know if they are. There was something about them in the. Who was talking about it? I don't know. Maybe it was Casey or somebody. I don't know. They were just talking about armadillos. No, I think it's Peggy Hall talking about them in Florida. I forget what the story was about them or what they did or whatever, but it was in Florida, yeah. I think the story was in Florida too, because they're not. I don't think they're in California, and that's where Peggy is. So, and she's saying some good things, and she's starting to finally talk about other stuff that she didn't for a long time. But then now she's pushing that C60, which is nano. It's the nanotech that makes her feel good. And I even put in a thing under a comment. I told her about it in a couple comments, and then I said, "Thank you for not." I thought she like picked up on it and stopped doing it. I said, "Thank you for not pushing that C60 anymore." And then she started doing it again because it makes her feel good. So I said, "So you're going to be responsible for all these people's health that you're influencing to get on that fucking C60 shit. Carbon C60. It's a nano product. Sure, it makes you feel good, but there's a devious, evil agenda behind it. It's called Carbon C60, and you won't find the information. Everything you look up, I tried to look up something to send her to teach her about it, and I could not. It's so buried, you can't find it. So I did find something in Tony Pantalaresco. If anybody knows Tony, how long's Tony been around? Unfortunately, Tony got not taken out like killed or anything, but somehow they got to him. And now the things he says, but what he said that a long time ago, years ago, he was talking about the C60. And I think I heard a couple other people, talking about it, trying to expose it, saying that it's not as good as people think it is. Well, it's like Florida now. It's going from California. A lot of the, like Peggy calls it, the hogwash is happening now in Florida and New York. I think these are the major states. They cover, the whole triangular United States, California to New York to Florida. They have the biggest, like, well, I guess Florida has Miami, New York has New York, and California has LA. So they have the big major centers, which they're trying to get all the people into these cities, into their 15-minute cities that I don't want to have any parts of. I wish I could get a piece of land. Like, I've been saving up my money. Like, I had some money put away because I had to settle for this car that I have now, because I had no choice, because I was stuck in Oregon for 3 weeks in the same parking spot behind the tranny, the transmission shop, that told me that I did not want to try to deal with replacing that transmission. It would be more than the car is worth. So I had to just stay there until I got something else. So some guy drove 45 minutes from a town in Oregon to bring the car to me that I have. So I paid him for that car. It's still not even in my name yet. I do have the title. I'm just going to probably give it away, whatever, or just try to trade it towards a bigger vehicle, because it is way too small to be living in. I've been over 2.5 years on the road now, and it gets pretty old when it's not comfortable enough and it's too tight. I have a cot in my bed that's fairly comfortable, but when I sit on it, my head is touching the roof of the car. So can't even, like, I can barely sit up, let alone stand up without touching the roof. So it's just too small. So I might go tomorrow to look at another vehicle, but in the meantime, I'm thinking, wow, it would be nice if I could just buy a half acre of land, but it's going up so expensive now. I don't even know that I can. Like, and then I'd have a place to park all the time. Or even if I did want to travel, I'd have a place to come back to. I could put up a shed or something. I don't have to build a house on it, which I wouldn't do because I'm not paying taxes. Taxes are illegal. Well, she didn't give me all that money. We had a She put up a GoFundMe for me. She didn't just give She doesn't have money like that just to give me. I mean, she helps me. She's been paying for my storage, which I'm trying to break down now because I don't think I'm ever going to have ever live in a house again. I kind of doubt it. I might live in a yurt or a teepee or something like that, but I ain't going to live in a house because all the last three places I lived in were newer homes. Like, the very last one was a trailer court, and the trailer wasn't even 2 years old. The house before that was only a couple years old, and they all had the dirty electricity, and I could feel it. So I ended up at the last place I lived in the trailer park. It was just like a big storage unit for me, and I slept out in my car. I was out in my car because I couldn't handle the whatever was going on in that house. I shut down, like, all the forced air, the air conditioning, anything, like, and I had the little oil heaters going to heat it up rather than have the forced air come through because of what I feel is there's like stuff coming through there that's not good for us. Oh, hi, Johnny. I didn't see you there, new person. Um Yeah, I don't know that I could live down south because of the heat. I like it up here in Washington, but then in the winter time I head south and I just go traveling across the country. I didn't spend any time in New Mexico, but I did go to Texas. I was in Austin mostly, but Austin is, I don't know what part of Texas that's considered there. Is Austin central Texas, or is it? So, and that was before it's getting hotter and hotter now, if anybody doesn't notice. And I think what we're feeling in this so-called heat is radiation, because I feel it. It's more than just heat. I can feel it like burning in my cells or something. it's doing something to me that I can't, it's just painful and I don't know how to explain it. So you are in Austin. So it is Central Texas. Okay. So I thought, yeah, I kind of liked it in Austin. That was my first. Okay. Thank you. Oh, I have like 10 minutes, she said. Um, that was like my first stop, was it? Where I met one of my subs. And that was back when, well, first I went to Idaho where I did the whole Owen Benjamin thing. I don't know if anybody here knows about that. So I don't know if there was any other women that like confronted him or stood up to him or anything. It was mostly guys like Johnny Arcade and just all these different people that were trying to expose him for his shit that he was trying to pull on people. But then I ended up in Austin, and I went back to Washington after I did the Idaho thing. And then I set off to go around the country in different places. So Austin was one of the first places where I met up with one of my subs. So I met up with, I think it was like, I don't know, nine or 10 people. And 1/3 of those people, at least 1/3, I'd say 4 people were mentally ill. One was, well, a couple of them were on the spectrum. One had Asperger's, and another one was bipolar. And it's just like, so you got to be careful with the people you meet online. They don't always pan out to be like this one person. I thought she was great. I thought she was loving and caring, and she turned out to be probably the worst one of all of the people I met. So her online presence is very different than her real life. She's filthy, she's dirty, the bipolar makes her manic and depressive. One minute she's happy and everything is great, and then the next thing she's screaming at me and just like, whoa, what's bringing this on? And then I said, okay, I'm leaving, I'm out of here. And then she sees that I'm really leaving, and then she's begging me to stay. It's like, why would I want to stay here and let you abuse me like this? Are you crazy? And then she just did some videos on me saying that I was there for 6 weeks. It's like, I couldn't even take 6 days of her, let alone 6 weeks. There's no way I would stay there. She couldn't pay me to stay there, and she wanted me to stay there and work for her so I could stay there. No, thank you. I don't need a place to live that bad, especially to take that kind of abuse. Oh, I know all about Owen. He really put me into a predicament. I'm not saying it's his fault that I'm homeless, but it was partly his influence that put me into the position that I ended up in because I believed in what he was saying. And it turned out he wasn't like that. So I actually met him in person 2 times in Idaho. He was in Washington first, in Gig Harbor. And then he left. And that money that he got to buy the place where he moved to was all from the money that the people gave him, all their $400 for their campsites that they never saw, never got to see, never got to camp there or anything. I mean, he was people were being threatened with guns. Me too. I said, go ahead. I dare you to come and try to shoot me with a gun. I dared him. It's like, you don't scare me. I don't think he would do it, but even if he did, I'm so wanting to be out of here, I don't really care. Oh, is that how you did? Oh, I didn't know how. I don't know who's here because I got quite a few subs from that whole thing, but that wasn't my reason for doing it. But I got like probably at least a couple hundred, 300 subs just from that whole ordeal with him. So, and then I just said I don't want anything more to do with this, and because people were still edging me on to want to talk about it, come on their show and whatever, and I just I said, I'm done with that. I don't know if I want to keep on doing that. So, and I originally I wanted to help Owen and Amy. Mostly, I wanted to help Amy, but then I started to see that maybe Amy was complicit in what was going on. She has to be. There's no way she couldn't be. So they're probably going to be. Let me see. They're going to be closing in a couple minutes, so I have to like shut this down here before they come in. Shit. Okay, everybody, thanks for coming. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for tolerating me and my tears and whatever. I didn't expect that to happen, but anyway. Okay, and I will try to, today's Friday, I will try to come back on Sunday, but Sundays are kind of hard. Although that's the best day I like to do it. I've been doing it at, Sundays at 4:20 my time, which is Pacific Standard Time on the West Coast. So, thank you all for being here and for your support, and much love to you all. Try to stay sovereign, get out in nature, stay happy, healthy. Much love.